Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Eurostar Community Podcast 2025, live from Edinburgh. So today I have the famous Bart with me. So
Hello.
Bart, would you like to tell everybody your real full name?
My full name is Bart Van Raemdonck. That's in Flemish, but if I hear it in English, it's Bart Van Raemdonck. So it's both fine.
Okay, so briefly introduce yourself to our audience. Some may not know you before, or somebody has known you for a very long time. What do you do, and what makes you want to come to Eurostar? Why are you here? Yeah.
A lot of questions, but
One by one.
I'm Bart. I'm a software tester. That's as easy as it can get, right? I've been into software testing now for more than 12 years or so. I started out as a developer 1 year, so I'm from the dark side. and I'm a tester from Belgium. I work for the IT consultancy firm Axxes IT. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, same like me. I came from as a developer too, from the dark side, and I
Well,
moved to
that's the
QA.
thing.
Yeah, that's
They
the
don't
thing.
they don't teach testing in schools.
Yeah.
So when you go graduating as an IT professional, you've only heard from unit testing, for example, but you don't know what's actually the testing profession. So people have to find their own way into the testing world.
Yeah, to understand what is about the quality risk and what is a certain criteria and making it
Yeah.
true, right?
That's why we do lectures in schools, like this is software testing, and some people think, all right, that's maybe something for me in the future. So
Let's do something back in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about Rising Star, Euro Rising Star. Why were you the Rising Star?
why? You should ask the mentors, but everyone can become a rising star here at Eurostar. I think that's a great concept. You have to submit an ID. Any testing ID that's where the testing community can benefit from is okay. So it can be a new framework, the new Agile, for example, or a new testing methodology, or a tool like I did. And you submit that ID. That all the IDs are being screened, and then the finalists are chosen. And then the mentors can vote on those finalists. And eventually you have one winner that will become the rising star. And that winner has a whole year to develop the ID that he or she or they submitted.
So what was your idea that you submitted?
You're very curious. I submitted 2 IDs, but the winning ID was to build a tool. I call it the QAT tool, the Quality Evolution Tracker tool. But my idea was to build a tool where we can measure quality of a product.
Measure quality. How do we measure quality then? What are the KPI? What are the metrics then?
That's the whole point of my talk tomorrow.
Let's give us some insight then.
Can we measure software quality is a question. And don't want to spoil too much, but yes, we can measure it, but not only with one number. And instead of we can measure what we can, but I think we must assess quality.
But how do we can measure quality, but how do we put the value to it then? You know, some things is like, okay, we measure it, we have a lot of test failures, but are those tests meaningful, really?
Those are measurements, like
is
number
that
of...
how we measure the value? Maybe something is very valuable to you, but something is not very important to me. Yeah, how do you make sure that it works through for the whole software then? Because it's not just QA yourself. We involve everyone in, product owner, developers, UX designer. Yeah.
Indeed, it's how do you put a number on value? How do you put a number on frustration?
Like a bottle of whiskey.
Then you could say the degree of alcohol maybe from that bottle of whiskey, but that's a tricky part. So you instead of focusing on a number, I think you should focus on the conversations. And I think that's where the tool comes in. So it enables conversations between your team members, because in an ideal world you will who will you
quality is owned by the whole team, right?
But the end user has to live with the product.
Yeah.
So actually the end user has the final word, or the final saying how good your product is.
Yeah.
So
the user feedback is becoming the thing that really measure the quality, the value of.
It can, yeah. I think
value of the quality.
When I first thought about this problem, I thought the end user is in charge here because, but that's not that practical if you want to use that in a tool. For instance, there were some glasses dropping here around us. No problem. We're professionals.
Yes, we can do this.
Yes, because let's say end users are willing to participate, and you have a website.
Yeah.
But end users don't like pop-ups. I don't like the cookie pop-up, for example. Yeah. Every website you have to click it away. Nobody reads it whatsoever. So are you going to build another pop-up that says, let's evaluate this website? I don't think the end user is waiting for that. And again, I think the strength of this tool is it evaluates over time.
Okay.
So over time you will need the same end users to re-evaluate the product to see if it's could become better or not, and that's not that practical. So the whole tool is developed to be used by the product team, because the product team is also a subset of the end user, I think.
Yeah.
And they should care about quality. Should.
Yeah. And regards about your tool, right? Is it open source? Can anyone use it, or is it we have to pay for it? Yeah.
We still have to decide that because a developer from our company, or some developers of our company, also work on the tool. But it's still my tool. I still have to have that conversation. But we can host it online, open source. We can just put it on GitHub or another repository where people can do their thing with it. We still have to decide it. What's already the plan is to evaluate it. Let teams use it, and from that feedback, improve the product already, and then we will talk about a launch or something like that.
Okay, I'm going to be very cheeky and ask you something. Do you use AI in developing your tool?
Yes.
What makes you want to use AI?
Yeah. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of AI, but I really like it. I use it a lot. But I also understand the criticasters and the people that are warning us for AI. I just saw actually a talk, and AI is on trial at the conference, the theme of this conference, but it's actually, we should be more careful with LLMs.
Yes.
Because AI is much more than just LLMs. So,
Earlier on, I was talking to Michael Broughton, and he was talking about how to test LMS, making sure that we cannot be over complacent about it and trust it fully, to make sure that it's reliable. So now you mentioned that you use AI in developing your tools. So how do you test your tool to make sure that it is a good quality tool?
First of all, it's a POC, it's an MVP, right? So it's not live, so I can do whatever I want. Of course, when it's go to production, we have to decide how we're going to handle that. But it started from developers. No AI was involved. Developers created the basics of the tool, and then I used AI to introduce new features. But I also used AI to write unit tests, integration tests, and playwright tests. And for example, nobody thinks immediately about accessibility tests.
Yes.
But the AI I used did. So it immediately created an accessibility test also. So it's already an advantage that it thinks of different kind of tests, and it suggests, would you like to include this kind of testing?
Will you consider using cloud testing for your tools then? Yeah.
Cloud testing?
Yeah, there is a mock testing, a group of people coming online and just test. Just bash as much as you can, destroy it.
Of course, that's one of the testing activities that you should do, I think.
That's very good. Right. Now we talk about. So how does AI look for you? Hold for you in the next 6 months then in the QA industry? Besides using it for testing your own tools, how does it make you think about it? Will your developer use the AI for their own work to do their development work, or will they use AI to write unit tests for themselves? How does it hold it in your area then?
In my role, I will use it as the same way as I do it now. I believe if you're doubting about an idea, just ask for feedback. It's more like a soundboard for me. Also to check that I didn't forget anything. I never ask it like these are my test scenarios I have in mind, or these are the test scenarios that came out of an exploratory session. Did I miss something? No, I think that's a wrong way of asking AI to help you. I think it's more like I have this feature, and then it will sum up some topics or some areas you can test.
Okay.
And then you see, oh, did I miss something? Can I get some inspiration from it? I think that's the way how we should handle it. You could use it to check if you have a little script code to check can I do it better? Is it a better way to do this? Stuff like that. You can also just easy tasks like I have all these player tests, refactor them into a page object pattern, for example. And then of course review. That's still important. Also review test cases because in most teams only have one tester, for example, and developers review each other's code. But who reviews our test scenarios? Often nobody does. And I think that's also a great way to involve LLMs, for example, like, can you review my test scenarios? And then the choice is still up to yours to do something with that or not.
So now, you are such a successful tester, right? And you're coming from a developer background, right? Having you in your team, right, will it convince more developers turning into the light side and becoming a QA?
Becoming a QA, that's a big step, right? I think we should work with small steps everywhere. Because it's already, if you jump into a team that's already quality-minded, that's so great.
You develop, you test, right? Then you test, you develop.
You test and develop,
Yeah, because now you develop your own tools. So you're going back to becoming a developer.
Yes, but I asked the LLM also to first write the tests and then code. You can do that. And it's actually pretty funny, but you still have to review and you still have to know what it does. But yeah, I wasn't able to convince a developer to turning into a tester. I never succeeded in that.
I managed to convince one female developer in my team to become a tester. Because I was looking after 12 QAs, and she has one of the QA in her team, and she saw how the good practices he has from me, and she said, "Oh, I really want to go into QA, Gag. Can you teach me how to move into QA?" I said, "Oh, that's brilliant. I used to be a developer, but then I moved into QA." That's why I asked, do you have the same thing happening in your team? Because they say, "Oh, you get to come to Eurostar, you become a rising star, you become a speaker."
I think it's also about the quality of the person. If a person is unhappy in a developer position, but he or she or they don't know what testing actually is.
Must be very curious, right? It's in our blood, in the instinct,
if
right?
there is
we
a
want
fire
to break something.
to learn more about testing, that's a good sign. And I think it's also has to do with your qualities as a person. When a junior, I don't like the word junior, but if a graduate comes from school, and we interview him for a test position, we always ask what excites you? Is it creating an idea? Is it actually building something? Or try to break it down? Like what triggers you? And that's most of
what makes you want to come to work every day, isn't it?
Indeed.
So now, we need to say, okay, just before, if anyone wants to reach out to you, Bart, what is the best way to find you?
On LinkedIn, I would say, or just email me.
See his
Bart
name at the bottom.
Van Raemdonck at gmail.com or at axxes.com. You can choose.
And you can ask him about his amazing tool. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you to our amigo Bart. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.